I hope you know, Georgia is in fact still making the playoffs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel, get into FanDuel. It's fantastic. Games are more fun with FanDuel. More on them in a second. I am Clint, talking to you about the storylines and what's real and fake for this Georgia team as we look to Kentucky this weekend and for the rest of the season, 2025, because it's getting real now. Now, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the youth movement that has happened at Georgia the last year. We're going to talk about Gunnar Stockton, and we're going to be talking about how now Bama fans aren't going to like this. Let me say two things. We didn't win. Alabama deserved to win. Okay? So you can't say anything other than that. You could try to clip me, but Alabama deserved to win. Kirby Smart has a Bama problem. Okay? But Georgia was the better team. Georgia was a better team and should have won. And I'm going to talk about that, what it looks like. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's real, what's fake. Is it real? Georgia's defense is decrepit, horrible, awful, and disgusting. Or Georgia's defense can be elite. Now, which one of those would you say is true? Now, let me encourage you. It's somewhere in between. And it's a question mark. If you look at this team so far, there's been some bright spots. Dalen Everett has been pretty dang good. Aguero, pretty dang good. CJ Allen, pretty dang good. Elijah Griffin, pretty dang good, especially for a freshman. Now, I listed a couple of people. Dalen Everett, senior. CJ Allen, been in the program for seems like forever. Elijah Griffin, not forever, first-year guy. But one of the things that struck me about this team, I talked about miscommunication, and I talked about a team needing a little bit of simplicity on defense, because that's what it seemed like to me. Watching the game on Saturday, it seemed like there was miscommunication galore. People weren't lined up, didn't know where you're going. And it seemed that our defense was a little stale. It seemed like maybe Alabama Ty Simpson knew what was being called beforehand. It seemed that we were in a base defense or some tried and true things that were happening. Now, I think this is because Georgia has an incredibly young defense. And I don't just think it, I know it. If you compare 2021, 2022, especially 2022, with and 2021 and 2022, those teams were led by guys who had been in the program or had been around college football for some time. Let me talk to you about the big time, catastrophically big, important position groups that were there. One, Dan Jackson, upperclassman, played his freaking hair on fire the entire year. Christopher Smith, senior in that program. Kamari Lassiter, Nyland Green, and Dalen Everett were all underclassmen at the cornerback position. Keely Ringo, Nyland Green, Humphrey, they were all underclassmen. We had question marks over the secondary in the cornerback position, not the safety position. Safety position had Tyke Smith, Christopher Smith, Dan Jackson, and this just in, an all-world Malachi Starks. That's who we had in the secondary, and we had two corners that were question marks because they were younger. If you look at linebacker, there was another question mark there. There was Smile Munden. We got a question mark. There was Pop, JDJ, Dumas Johnson, Sori, Ryan Davis, Jalen Walker, all underclassmen. But then you got to the outside edge as well as defense. Rubber Bill, guys who had been in the program a long time. Nolan Smith, Chaz Chambliss, he was a sophomore, but Nolan Smith, senior, huge contributor. We had Walthor, huge contributor, long time there. Nazir Stackhouse, Zion Logue, Jr. We had guys that were there. We had Jalen Carter Jr., Warren Brinson Jr. We had 3 years in the program on the defensive line, a position that right now Georgia can't get any pressure on anybody. The edge isn't coming around the outside. The middle of the pocket's not being broken down, and it's because we have younger guys there. We have younger guys in the secondary, and we have experienced linebackers. So let's get to this year compared to last year, or compared to 2021, 2022. Some notable guys. Let's talk about Jordan Hall, redshirt sophomore. We talked about him before, not being on the field, being injured for much of it. He was the only one that we said on Saturday, recognized the screen, got back, got in position, stopped the screen. Elijah Griffin playing a huge amount of stops. Christian Miller, he's junior there. Quintavious Johnson, sophomore, second-year guy. Xavier McLeod, second year in the program. Joseph Jonah, Big Joe, he is a redshirt freshman, second year in the program. Gabe Harris Jr., he's the outlier of the group along with Christian Miller, but for the most part, we have first year or second year guys trying to contribute. Now, the linebacker group, I already told you, juniors, third year guys all the way across the board. Daniel Harris, as well as Dalen Everett, in the program for a long time, but Daniel Harris is given reps all of a sudden up to DeMello Jones, and that's a second year guy in the program. Then you go to the other cornerback, Ellis Robinson, second year guy in the program. KJ Bolden and Kyron Jones, sophomores. Branch, first year in. Adrian Maddox, first year in the program. Mendonzi, first year in the program. Josh Horton, first year in the program. We have a bunch of new faces on defense specifically. Now, conversely, just so we're not getting lost in the weeds on this, let's talk about the offense really quick. Dylan Bell, senior. Even the transfers we got coming in, Colby Young, kind of transfer-esque. He's back after missing a lot of last year. Zachariah Branch, first guy in. But then you got Monroe Freeling, junior. Michael Morris, senior. Drew Bobo, redshirt junior. Ernest Green, redshirt junior. Oscar Delp, senior. Gunnar Stockton, redshirt junior. Nate Frazier, let's go elsewhere. Chauncey Bowens, we had question mark at the running back. You look at the offense, and it's humming along. It's clicking just fine. They have experienced guys. Defense do not have experienced guys. The defensive line and the safeties up the middle. Young. Miscommunication, not getting home, not having technique, not having endurance. That's what Kirby's talked about a lot from a lot of these guys. They got to get the endurance up. We talked about that with Juan Gasson. Juan Gasson's biggest thing is we have to get endurance up. Oh, this just in, when you go hurry up tempo on the fourth down and you don't have enough conditioning in and you get a bad rep. Is that a fine way of saying it? Can I just say he had a bad rep? Maybe it was because his conditioning wasn't there. Just maybe. Maybe he wasn't ready to go. Maybe he was gassed. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he took a rep off. See, what I'm saying is there's a youth movement within Georgia. The offense is doing well right now, but key areas and key guys are playing lax because they're inexperienced. Now, this is what this should tell us about the defense. We're not cooked. We're going to get better. This defense will get better with the year as it goes on. Last year's defense was not going to get better as the year went on because I've seen improvement on the defense and I see a youth movement. Last year, I saw no good defense other than Jalen Walker. He showed out. Outside of that, it wasn't there much. And there was guys who'd been in the program a long time. Long time. And I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't sensing it. Dan Jackson had to be an All-American back there. I wasn't sensing it. I wasn't seeing it. Can we be elite? Yeah, it's on the table. By the end of the season, it can be. And we have a couple games to get right in Kentucky and Auburn coming up. I'm going to talk about as we preview it more. I'm going to come back and let you know, this just in, the guy that you hate so much is actually playing lights out for Georgia. But first, these. And these are, in fact, Mazda Move and Be Moved. Mazda crafts cars for those who want to do simply or more than simply move. It has confidence in every ride. More IIHS Top Safety Pick Award than anyone else as of August 2025. And you can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every movement count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. But that's not all. I want to let you know about our friends over at Monarch. Monarch's fantastic. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, man, where did all my money go this month? Well, Monarch Money is going to help you out. You don't know your financial accounts from your 401ks to your properties, investments. You don't know them all. They're not in all one spot. Monarch Money is here to help you out. The entire financial is put together in an interface, a laptop, or on your phone. It's built for people with busy lives. You can link accounts in minutes, see clear data results, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money. Maximizing investments can increase savings rate with easily reviewing your finances with your partner or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of financial health week to week and long term. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use promo code LockedOnCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LockedOnCollege. All right, I promised you that we'd be talking about the person that you hate so much on this team. You can't stand him. Actually, he's playing not just fine football, great football. Before we get into what I've also seen out of Georgia and not only this youth movement that we've seen, but how this team was the better team against Alabama, I'm going to try to give you some categorical, defined numbers that show us why this is. By the way, this week we're seeing a little bit of vintage Kirby come back. He's stopped giving media availability to players and to himself and said, no, guess what? I'm just going to go back to practice. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to keep coaching the guys. You stay here and do your thing, which, by the way, he owes nobody anything. He does not get to go ahead and say sorry for this. No. You are lucky to talk to him. He doesn't have to give it to you. So if he doesn't, guess what? Tough. Deal with it. Do a better job. Okay. Vintage Kirby. He's getting after the guys. Here's what's interesting to me about Daniel. I've talked about it before. We talked about it on the Overreaction show. We talked about it, how if you came away, Blaine, thinking that Gunnar Stockton was at all an issue in this offense or on this team, you literally are choosing to hate him. Now, people say, oh, Clint, you love Bobo and you love Gunnar. No, what I'm saying is Gunnar is an elite. I like the quarterback that Kirby Smart has chosen. So therefore, I like Gunnar Stockton. If Puglisi comes out against Kentucky, guess what? Okay, Puglisi's the guy. But Gunnar Stockton has shown me nothing to indicate to me that he is not playing at a great level. Does he have room for improvement? Of course he does. By the way, go follow our guy, the film guy, Brooks Austin. He's going to show you ways in which Gunnar Stockton left things on the field. But here's what's wild to me about the hate of Gunnar Stockton. You will tell me time and time again, and Georgia fan, can we have a heart-to-heart here? This is what's so wild to me about how we view this team and how we hate this team and how I was interacting with people on Twitter calling for Kirby Smart's job, and I tried pointing them out. I really tried pointing them out, and it's wild to me how we cope, because that's not the way. Kirby Smart is one of the best coaches in the entire nation, except when he plays Alabama. He's incredible at developing talent, getting guys in the league, getting them paid. So stop it. And I'm not making it up. We could all laugh at reporters to say, but I'm literally seeing people before my eyes talk about it. When we cope about Gunnar Stockton, we kind of do something very similar, because we will say to ourselves, I've heard this for years. This was the case of the Justin Fields, right? I want a mobile quarterback. First of all, there is no such thing as a quarterback that's not mobile anymore in football. If you aren't mobile, your team is being eaten alive. Okay? You can't do that. Nussmeier, not doing great at being mobile. He's clearly hurt, but LSU is suffering because they're not using his athleticism. Ty Simpson is athletic. You saw that on Saturday. He had a couple of great runs with his legs and moved the pocket and got outside. And when the pocket was beginning to show some leakage, got outside, hit people down the field because his eyes were looking down there. Gunnar Stockton is very similar. Now, there were two plays in which Gunnar Stockton had open receivers. He got a little skittish in the pocket and went down before getting hit. That's because the previous game at Tennessee, he needed new ribs after being shot in them so many times by Tennessee defenders, because the offensive line did not hold up well against Tennessee. Held up pretty good against Alabama, all things considered, actually. But Gunnar Stockton is sitting back in the pocket. There's a couple plays where he drops down. He rushes that and doesn't do well. There's a couple other plays where he has confidence. And you hear this from other guys. You hear this from Zachariah Branch, from Colby Young, from Kirby Smart, from other coaches. That I want Gunnar to just – I want him to go play. I want him to believe himself. I want him to think the best. I want him to go out there and just play. Right? We've heard that countless times from everybody. Here's what's wild to me. When you look at Gunnar Stockton's stats, no interceptions, no turnover-worthy plays, and his turnover-worthy throws have not been there. There's been a couple of ducks that have been thrown, especially early in the game before he gets a rhythm going. that are not good, not accurate, but they're not turnover worthy. There's a couple of passes that he threw against Alabama that were, I think of two, especially that one completion. He's trying to put it over the linebackers, doesn't give enough layering on it. Gets right, maybe a tip, maybe right through their hands, maybe should have been a pick. Those are bad throws. So 2 ducks, 2 bad throws. The rest of them were fine. And a few of them were elite. We complain, hey, Justin Fields, I need a mobile quarterback. Well, you have one now. You don't just have a mobile quarterback. You have a guy who is strong running. 1, you have that. 2, you have a guy that is absolutely going to huck it. We've seen it time and time again. I know that everybody's complaining about the screen game, but Gunnar Stockton is a guy who will also huck it down the field, and he's shown that he can do so well. Explosiveness, tight end being used. Well, the tight ends aren't getting open. I hate to break it to you. Oscar Delp is not getting open. He's covered. And when he comes open, it's later on the progression, and Gunnar Stockton is at that point, maybe turning it down or maybe going and finding Zachariah Branch, because Zachariah Branch is open. Colby Young, open. He's not only doing fine, he's carrying a team, and his legs are a huge asset to us. The run game is there. I think the run game, having over 7 yards per carry and being very, very good against Alabama, is a product of Gunnar Stockton being good both in pass and the threat of him running. We said this before the season. If you want to see Georgia's run attack go, it's going to be because he keeps a few of those and he runs the ball off tackle in the RPO game, or he gives it on the screen. The quick little 2-man game that we have on the outside. Chauncey and Dwight and McCray are getting the benefit of the doubt of defenses having to stay backside contain against Gunnar as he keeps the ball on many occasions. They wouldn't do that with anybody else. He's 4th in QBR. No interceptions. He's not just managing the game well. He's progressing the game well. Gunnar Stockton is an asset, and he's playing at a great level, and I don't know why you hate him. I'm going to keep banging this drum over and over and over again. Is he the best quarterback in the SEC? No. Is he one of the top 4? I think so. I really, really think so. And is that better? Would your team like to have one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the SEC? Yeah, they would. Yes, they would. Ty Simpson's doing really good things. You think the LSU wouldn't want to have a top 4 quarterback? You think Auburn wouldn't want a top 4 quarterback? Think Florida wouldn't want a top 4 quarterback? In the SEC? Come on. I'm going to come back for this. I'm going to tell you why Georgia was the better team Saturday. Still lost, but first these. And these are, in fact, FanDuel. FanDuel is fantastic. You need to go over there right now. NFL season's here. FanDuel has more than an offer for you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets across the app. Whether you're a casual fan who loves diving into stats, or FanDuel makes everyday experience much more better just for you and everybody else. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. But that's not all. We also let you know about Square. Square is fantastic. You need to get on over, because Square takes care of people that are local. I don't know if you understand just how it works in the world, but when you're local, it helps. This episode brought to you by Square, the favorite neighborhood run on Square. Sports bar, that beloved local chain that's rooted in your community. Neighborhood business thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Guess what? Sports are something that brings communities together. Gathering for game day rituals, celebrating the best wings in town, or just being part of the fan base. This place is called home. Square's proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. I'm going to tell you why Georgia was the better team on Saturday. And we lost because, stop me if you heard this. This is Notre Dame all over again. This is Alabama last year all over again. A fumble in minus territory that gave Alabama a short field on which to score points. Play 1. Play 2. drop passes. Now you can get with me. Ryan Williams drops one. Talon Taylor drops one. Okay, fine. Let's call that a wash. But I'm just saying that you capitalize on mistakes. Keep that in mind as we come back to another stat I'm going to give you. Play 3. And this one was, again, much talked about, the 4th and 1. Either it was a missed block or you say, hey, let's kick it. Kirby Smart says, I'm going to be aggressive. Really quick, many of us have been mad at Kirby for playing too conservative. Remember when Kirby, before it was halftime, he had a minute and a half left. He had the ball. The other team had just kicked off, had just scored a field goal or a touchdown, kicked off to us. We get the ball at the 25, and there's a minute and a half left, and he runs belly left. He runs a power game to the right, and he sees how many yards he can get, and then sometimes he just lets that clock go. He's got 3 timeouts. He takes them all into half, and we're sitting there thinking, be aggressive, Kirby. What are you doing, Kirby? Now, I only raise that to say he was being aggressive. Was it the right spot? Look, in the moment, that's what he went with. I wasn't there with flow of game. I wasn't there for anything else. He clearly thought that it was good at that moment. So I said, go for it. Do it, Kirby. I trust you on your flow of game and what you think is going on and what you're seeing on the field and talking to the guys. But he was aggressive. But here's what's really frustrating. That 4th and 1, the fumble was a huge one. The drop touchdown, clear touchdown, was a huge one. Defensively, KJ Bolden dropping an interception. Gosh, so big. Right there for his taking. There were a number of times that coming around the edge, I thought Chris Cole did an okay job and got close to Tyson and couldn't bring him down. The number of missed tackles in which we couldn't do an arm. The left tackle screen that we didn't come screaming down and call somebody else, and the fact that we were just whiffing on diving at his legs. Okay, all of those plays. Here's what's wild to me if I break it down like this. If I look at statistically, if I look at yards per rush, if I look at stopping Alabama's run, Georgia running the ball, and the success rate that Gunnar Stockton had, it really comes down to third downs were atrocious historically. But there's a little stat. It's very simple. It's very easy. Let me boil it down. Success rate did you have a snap that was successful or you failed? If you're on defense and you give up 5 yards on first down, that's a failed snap. Offense had a great snap. That was a success for them. Plus them minus you, right? And if you do that throughout the game, kind of like a game of pinball, real quick, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, go back and forth, keep doing this. And you break those down, success rate on offense, defense combined against their success rate, offense, defense, and then you put the final score in. So you say, where did you do each play to play, and what was the outcome? Parker Fleming over on Twitter, by the way, he does this over on X. He does this for us. I didn't have to do this. He does it for us. And he came up with this. Georgia had a higher success rate throughout the game than Alabama, meaning on a play-by-play basis, Georgia had more success. We ran efficiently. We passed efficiently. Defense, the second half, we played lights out defensively. First half, we played atrociously. So even that's kind of a wash, let's say, right? It's like one half. Okay, great. 0 points, 24 points. Okay. We were better on a play-by-play basis than Alabama. It came down to turnovers and third downs. Tell me of a coach who said that before. Oops. We had them in 3rd and longs continually, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 10s, and we gave up key plays. So that's a successful play, but they were in the wrong time in a high leverage situation. Georgia, statistically, it was a pretty good margin to, just like Ole Miss LSU. I was talking to a couple of colleagues and they said LSU got dominated by Ole Miss. And I said, you have a weird definition of dominated, because Brian Kelly lost the game for him. Nussmeier played like absolute crud. Those teams were a mid-off in my mind. Ole Miss deserved to win. It was a mid-off. And statistically, LSU had more success than Ole Miss, but it was wafer thin. Their success was just a couple of plays off. Georgia's success against Alabama was a good considerable bit more, probably 4 times the success rate that LSU had against Ole Miss. That was a mid-off. These two teams are good teams. Alabama's a good team. I thought they were going to win the SEC this year. I predict them to make the playoffs. They're a good team. Georgia's a good team too. And actually on Saturday, in a vacuum, without the fumble, without the plays, that the success rates coming in the red zone, that was another statistic. Georgia offensively in the red zone. We were able to move the ball pretty well, but then we got down the red zone and we weren't able to punch it in on the short amount of plays. We spend a lot of time inside the 30 trying to get points. A lot of times, a lot of plays, a lot of yards. It's nauseating. But on a down by down basis, Georgia was the better team. Alabama fan, don't hear me saying that and think, oh, Clint's making excuses. Hang the banner. No. Again, Alabama deserved the win. However, we were have hope. I'm going to come back with Daniel all week. We're going to talk about Kentucky. We're going to talk about why I still think this is a playoff team because of stats like this, because of Gunnar Stockton, and because the defense is only going to get better. It's not last year's defense. It's not going to keep getting worse. There's no hope. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of runway for these young guys. And there's a lot of talent left to be discovered on this defense. Offensively, we got Gunnar Stockton. He's in every game. I'm fine. And we went toe-to-toe with Tennessee, beat them on the road, and we went toe-to-toe with Alabama, who I think is going to win the SEC championship, which means nothing, by the way. And we were the better team. Now, if that doesn't encourage you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you hurt, but it should encourage you because we're a dang good team that's getting better. Kirby Smart is already showing me some things. He's not taking media availability. He's already willing to get DeMello Jones in there, try new faces, try new bodies in high leverage situations. We get Kentucky this week. There's a couple things that I need to see, and I'll come back with Daniel and we'll talk about them. I need to see in a bad way if I'm going to have hope for the season, but this is a playoff team still, y'all. Hey, for Daniel, I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow when we're breaking down more Georgia, as we will all season long. We'll talk to you guys then.